Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt like you weren't enough? Maybe you saw your flaws, your mistakes, your imperfections, and thought, why can't I be better? But let me ask you something. What if I told you nobody is perfect, yet that is exactly what makes us human and beautiful? There was once a young girl named Mira. Mira was kind-hearted, full of dreams, and always wanted to make her parents proud. But she had one problem: she was never satisfied with herself. If she scored well in school, she still compared her marks with others. If someone complimented her, she quickly found something negative about herself. If she looked in the mirror, she noticed only her flaws. On the outside, Mira smiled, but inside, she felt small, incomplete, broken. One day, after failing to win a school competition, she came home and cried. She sat in her room, staring at the ceiling, whispering to herself, "Why am I never good enough? Why can't I be like others? Why am I so imperfect?" Her grandmother, who lived with the family, noticed her tears. She was an old woman with silver hair tied in a bun and eyes that carried both wisdom and kindness. She walked into Mira's room, sat beside her, and asked softly, "Child, why are you crying?" Mira broke down. "Dottie, I try so hard, but I always fail somewhere. My marks are never perfect. My looks are never perfect. My life, it just isn't perfect. I hate myself sometimes." Her grandmother listened quietly. Then she smiled. "Mira, do you know the story of the cracked pot?" Mira looked at her in confusion. "Cracked pot?" The old woman nodded and began her story. Once, a water bearer carried 2 pots to fetch water from the river every day. Both pots were tied on either side of a stick he carried on his shoulders. One pot was perfect, shiny, smooth, without any cracks. The other pot had a crack on its side. Every day, by the time the water bearer reached home, the cracked pot had leaked half its water. It felt ashamed. It believed it was useless. One morning, the cracked pot cried and said to the water bearer, "I am sorry. Because of my flaw, you lose so much water. I am a failure." The water bearer smiled and said, "Look carefully, dear pot. Do you see the path from the river to the house? On your side, flowers bloom beautifully. On the other side, the ground is dry." The cracked pot was surprised. The man continued, "That's because I planted seeds along your side of the path. Every day, you watered them unknowingly. Because of your flaw, the path is full of flowers that make people smile. Your imperfection created beauty." The grandmother looked at Mira, her voice trembling with warmth. "My child, don't you see? We're all like that crackpot. None of us are perfect, but our flaws don't make us worthless. They make us unique. They make us human. And sometimes they even make the world more beautiful." Tears filled Mira's eyes. She whispered, "So, my imperfections don't make me weak?" Her grandmother touched her cheek gently. "No, child. They make you real. And real is always more powerful than perfect." That night, Mira went to bed with a lighter heart. For the first time, she didn't hate her imperfections. She embraced them. The next morning, she looked in the mirror. Yes, she saw flaws, but she also saw strength. She realized she didn't have to be perfect to be worthy of love, respect, or happiness. From that day on, Mira worked hard, not to prove she was perfect, but to prove she was growing. She smiled more, worried less, and slowly built confidence in who she was. And you know what? People noticed. Not because she became flawless, but because she carried herself with honesty, kindness, and acceptance. That MY friends, the story of Mira and the cracked pot, carries a truth we all need to hear. We live in a world that constantly tells us to be perfect. Perfect looks, perfect grades, perfect jobs, perfect lives. But perfection is a lie. Nobody is perfect. Nobody ever will be. And yet, that is the beauty of life. Your scars, your flaws, your failures, these are not signs of weakness. They are signs of your journey, your growth, your humanity. So the next time you feel broken or less than others, remember this. A cracked pot still carries water. And sometimes it waters flowers that a perfect pot never could. Stay kind. Stay real. Don't chase perfection. Chase growth. Chase honesty. Chase the courage to accept yourself. Because at the end of the day, It's not perfection that makes us valuable. It's our imperfections that make us truly human. Nobody is perfect, and that's perfectly okay.